Science explains how negative thinking hurts your brain. Understanding our brain's response to negative thinking. Understanding the intricate workings of our brain's response to negative thinking requires us to look into the evolutionary biology that has shaped our responses to threats. Our brains have been honed over millennia to prioritize survival, and this has equipped us with an extremely sensitive alarm system, the amygdala, which acts as a watchtower, scanning for any signs of trouble. When we stumble upon negative thoughts, our amygdala reacts as if spotting a predator lurking in the underbrush. It sounds the alarm, and our body responds in kind. A surge of adrenaline increases our heart rate and blood pressure, sharpening our senses and readying our muscles for action. Cortisol follows, mobilizing glucose to give our bodies the energy for a quick response. This fight-or-flight response is a symphony of biological reactions that has ensured our species' survival, allowing our ancestors to confront their dangers or flee to safety. However, the dangers we face are usually not our ancestors' life or death scenarios but psychological stressors. They include last-minute deadlines, interpersonal conflicts, financial worries, and other present-day problems. Our brain, however, doesn't always distinguish between these modern stressors and the ancient threats to our survival. So, it responds with the same chemical rush to a harsh email as it would to a wild animal attack. The problem arises when this system switches on too frequently. The human body cannot handle chronic activation of the stress response. When negative thinking becomes habitual, a smoke detector goes off at the slightest hint of trouble, even when there's no actual fire. That can lead to chronic stress, where the body's stress responses are constantly engaged, as if the battery on that smoke alarm runs out prematurely. Long-term effects of negative thinking on cognition. The long-term effects of negativity can be profound. 1. Our immune system can become compromised. 2. Our digestive and reproductive systems can have disruptions. 3. We can even experience changes in our brain structure and function, particularly in areas associated with memory and emotion. Moreover, when our brain is constantly on high alert, it can make us anxious and on edge. It's as if our psychological muscles can never relax, always tensed for a battle that never comes. Over time, this can lead to feelings of burnout, where we feel mentally and physically exhausted, even when we haven't engaged in any physical activity. It's a state of being that can sap our joy, diminish our productivity, and cloud our ability to enjoy life. Understanding this response is the first step in mitigating its effects. By recognizing that our brain's alarm system can be overly sensitive, we can start to question whether our negative thoughts truly warrant the stress response they trigger. Techniques like mindfulness meditation, cognitive behavioral therapy, and stress management strategies can help recalibrate our brain's response to negative thinking, allowing us to live more peaceful and balanced lives. The chemical effects of negativity and pessimism. Our brains are not just reactive. Instead, they're also proactive, constantly creating a cocktail of chemicals that shape our moods and perceptions. When we're optimistic and happy, our brain rewards us with neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which make us feel even better. It's a helpful process when we have balance in life. However, when we have negative thinking, it's like putting a damper on these feel-good chemicals. Over time, this can lead to a chemical environment in our brain that's more conducive to depression and anxiety. It's as if the brain's inner weather system is stuck in a pattern of gray and stormy days, with the sun struggling to break through the clouds. The physical toll of negativity on the brain. The concept of neuroplasticity is one of the most revolutionary discoveries in neuroscience. It reveals that our brain is not rigidly mapped out, with certain areas irrevocably assigned to specific functions. Instead, it is a malleable, ever-evolving organ. It reshapes itself based on our daily experiences and thoughts. This plasticity is the brain's way of optimizing itself, strengthening connections between frequently used neurons and weakening those used less often. However, this remarkable adaptability comes with a caveat. Just as positive experiences and thoughts can lead to beneficial changes in the brain, negative thinking can induce harmful alterations. When we engage in negativity, pessimism, worry, or self-criticism, we reinforce neural pathways associated with these emotions, making them more likely to be our brain's go-to response to situations. Over time, this can reshape the landscape of our brain in ways that are not conducive to our well-being. Take the hippocampus, a brain region critical for learning and memory. Research has shown that chronic stress and negative thinking can decrease the volume of the hippocampus. This finding is significant because it reduces the capacity and the size. A smaller hippocampus can struggle with the demands of learning and forming new memories, akin to a library running out of space to store new books. That can manifest in our daily lives as forgetfulness, difficulty acquiring new skills, or challenges adapting to new situations. The metaphor of negative thinking being a sculptor chiseling away at our brain is apartment. Each thought is like a chip of the chisel, shaping the neural structure. When those thoughts are negative, they can chip away at our cognitive reserves, leaving us with less mental resilience. Negativity is like an internal artist working without a clear plan, haphazardly knocking pieces off our mental sculpture, diminishing its form and function. How to switch off negative thinking. But just as negative thinking can lead to negative changes, the opposite is also true. Positive thinking can act to build and bolster the brain structure. Activities promoting positive thinking and emotions supporting positive relationships can strengthen neural pathways. Thus, they support emotional resilience, cognitive flexibility, and overall mental health. Try these things to overcome negativity. 1. Gratitude journaling. 2. Mindfulness meditation. 3. Visualizing a brighter outcome. 4. Taking a walk or hike in nature. 5. Trying your hand at a new hobby. 6. Reading. 7. Listening to an uplifting podcast. Understanding how to switch gears back to positivity empowers us to shape our brain's development and steer it toward a more positive and healthy state. How negative thinking affects our overall health. The effects of negative thinking are not only in our heads. They ripple out to affect our entire body. For example, poor sleep can make us foggy and unable to concentrate. Meanwhile, a weakened immune system can leave us more vulnerable to illnesses. It's as if our body is a finely tuned orchestra, and negative thinking is an off-key note that throws the entire symphony into disarray. Breaking the cycle of negative thinking. Awareness is like the dawn, signaling a new beginning and a chance to start fresh. By recognizing negative thinking patterns, we can intervene before they spiral out of control. Mindfulness teaches us to observe our thoughts without getting caught up, like watching leaves float down a stream. Positive affirmations gently steer the mind towards a more hopeful and optimistic outlook, planting seeds of positivity that can grow into a lush landscape over time. Encouraging a positive mindset. A positive mindset is like a garden that requires regular tending. It's not enough to plant the seeds, we must also water them and protect them from weeds. It means actively looking for things to be grateful for and finding the good in challenging situations. It's a proactive approach to mental health, where we're not just reacting to negativity but actively cultivating positive ones. Over time, this can reshape how we think and feel, leading to a more joyful and fulfilling life. The role of support and community. As the forest around it strengthens a tree, we draw strength from our community. Whether it's friends who lift our spirits, family who offer a listening ear, or professionals who provide guidance, we are not alone in our journey. Support can come in many forms, from a kind word to professional therapy, and each act of support is like a beam of light cutting through the darkness of negative thinking.